Switching to keyboard and mouse at first in Fortnite literally feels impossible. Your aim is all over the place, your builds are absolutely awful, and your editing is on a whole nother level. Everyone who starts keyboard and mouse and everyone who wants to improve at keyboard and mouse is in the exact same situation that you are. And that's why in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the fastest way to actually improve. We're going to be going over settings, aim, editing, building, and game sense. And I'm also going to be giving you some routines and tips that you can start using today. Let's start with the most important foundation, your settings and keybinds. I know when people first swap to keyboard and mouse, they spend hours copying mongrel settings or shroud settings or whatever they saw in a random YouTube video. But here's the truth. There is no perfect sensitivity or keybind setup for everyone. What matters is finding something comfortable that you can stick with for weeks without changing. For sensitivity, a good starting point is around 800 DPI and 6 to 8% in-game sensitivity. That's low enough to give you control, but not so low that you're swinging your arm across the entire desk. And the key is to pick up one sensitivity and actually commit to it. Don't change it every 2 days. Stick with it for at least 2 weeks so your muscle memory can actually develop. Now let's talk keybinds. A lot of players make the mistake of using super complicated binds that their hands can't even reach properly. But the truth is you don't need insane optimal binds to even get better. You want to place your building keys or your edit keys somewhere comfortable, something you can press naturally without thinking. For example, my edit key is F because my finger literally just rests there. Yours might be E or caps lock. It really doesn't matter as long as it feels natural. Here's a really important tip that I literally give everyone. Play a couple of creative matches with different binds and notice which one feels least awkward. And once you have chosen them, lock them in. If you keep switching binds, you'll never really build any sort of muscle memory. Trust me, I've been there. I once tried to copy a pro's bind and I was literally hitting every wrong key. It felt like I was fighting my keyboard instead of actually playing the game. So trust me, stick to what works for you, not what works for someone else. Next up is movement, which sounds really basic, but is actually one of the biggest things new keyboard and mouse players struggle with. On controller, movement is very easy. You can creep, strafe smoothly, or make tiny adjustments with the stick, whereas on keyboard, it's digital. You're either moving forward or you're not, and that can really feel stiff at first for some people. So how do you improve? First, make sure your hand is comfortable. Your pinky finger should rest naturally near shift or control for crouch or sprint, and your index on D, middle on W, and ring on A. It sounds so obvious, but a lot of new players are awkwardly twisting their hand and it kills their reaction time. Sit comfortably, wrists slightly lifted, and don't press down too hard. You will tire your arm out more than your brain. Now the second movement tip is practice combining movement with aiming. Strafing left and right while trying to track an enemy is one of the hardest parts on keyboard and mouse, and this is what helped me improve so fast. Hop into a creative match and literally just practice strafing left and right while aiming at a wall or a target. I will link some creative maps in the description just to help you out. These are the ones that I use and they're really useful. It will feel really robotic at first, but over time your fingers and mouse movement will sync and you will adjust. A really underrated tip is actually to play regular games. Yes, playing creative is where you actually build that practice, but it's about bringing the practice into the actual game that a lot of players, and especially even pros, don't do. So whilst creative drills are useful, real matches force you to get into chaotic situations that build that real reaction time. Movement under pressure is different from movement in an edit course, and you'll learn to stay calm when things get messy. I'll be honest with you, when I first swapped to keyboard and mouse, it literally felt like my character was walking through mud. Every single fight I got into, I either overmoved, missed my shots, or froze completely. But the more I played, the more natural WASD felt, and just everything felt so much more smoother. And one day, it literally just clicked. Stick with it, and I promise you, it will get easier. Now let's talk about the hardest part of keyboard and mouse, aiming. Everyone knows controller has aim assist, so when you switch to mouse, it feels brutal. You are gonna miss every single shot, and I promise you, it's not gonna be fun. Every single AR shot, especially with the bloom in the game right now, it's gonna be dreadful. You're gonna hit the wrong shotgun shots, the spread's gonna be awful, but trust me, it's all part of the process. But here's how to speed it up. First, use an aim trainer like Aim Labs or Kovacs for just 10 minutes a day. Especially Kovacs is so useful for new players, it's insane. Trust me, just use it for 10-20 minutes a day and your aim will improve lightning speed. Don't spend hours grinding in it because it's literally just going to burn you out. 10-20 minutes is the perfect time, trust me. It is more than enough to build that muscle memory that you are 100% going to need. Work on simple tasks like tracking targets or flicking between 2 points. I especially like Mr. Savage's one. If you buy it, it's literally like £2, so 100% use Mr. Savage's aim training. It's the best. Secondly, if you can't afford Kovacs for some reason, use Fortnite's own creative aim maps. Obviously with the new engine, maps have got so much more useful, and they can pretty much import Kovacs into creative. I'm also going to link a really useful map in the description. The code will obviously be down there, along with tons of other maps in this video. There are loads of great maps where you can practice shotgun flicks, AR tracking, and SMG duels against online players. The benefit of this is it feels like the actual game, so the muscle memory transfers perfectly. And here's a tip that changed literally everything for me. You want to stop flicking your mouse mouse so hard. Most new KBM players move their mouse way too much. You want to keep your movement small and precise, and good crosshair placement is more important than wild flicks, and in my opinion the most important thing you want to get down when switching. Aim where the enemy is likely to be, get better at predictions, instead of reacting super late. When I started keyboard and mouse I thought I'm literally going nowhere, I'm going to switch back to controller, and that's because I could not hit a single shot. My editing was okay, my building was okay, but my aim was terrible. But after a couple of weeks of consistent 10-minute aim routines, I noticed my tracking and my overall aim was so much smoother. I wasn't panicking in close fights, so just trust me, don't get discouraged if your aim is ass. It takes time to build that muscle memory, but you will see progress if you stick with it. Now the one you've all been waiting for, editing and building. The part of Fortnite that makes people rage quit keyboard and mouse the fastest. Controller players are used to quick button taps, and on mouse it feels way more effort. But here's how to improve. You want to start small, don't try and do quad edits or triple edits on day one. Instead, practicing editing a wall, resetting it and repeating. I want you to do that until you have it down to a T. Whether that takes 100 times, 200 times, it's so important. Then practice editing a ramp and flipping it. Once you're comfortable, move to box fighting routines, place a wall, edit a window, take a shot, reset. These simple drills build the muscle memory that later makes advanced edits possible. Now for building, work on just two basic routines, 90s and ramp wall builds. I know that's a chapter 1 thing and most players can do that now, but run those until they literally feel automatic. Don't worry about flashy retakes yet. Once you can place builds clearly without thinking, then you can start adding in the fancy stuff. Here's the key. Short daily practice beats marathon sessions by a mile. If you feel more comfortable training for 10, 20, 30 minutes a day rather than 3 hours, do that by a mile. It's so much better because you will burn yourself out and eventually get bored. 10 minutes of editing a day and builds is worth way more than 5 hours once a week. Consistency is how your brain wires the muscle memory, and don't compare yourself to cracked creative warriors like Peterbot who build skyscrapers in literally 4 seconds, because I personally remember the first time I tried to keep up with one of the nerds. I'm not gonna lie, at first it was rough, but those basics I drilled in every single day. That's what made me actually confident in real fights and in-game scenarios. Now moving on to the last tip is what separates good players from great ones: game sense. It doesn't matter if your mechanics are perfect, your aim is perfect, if you don't make smart decisions, you'll keep losing fights. Game sense on keyboard and mouse is all about staying calm. Don't panic build 20 ramps when you're shot at. Don't waste mats tunneling into dead zones. Focus on smart positioning, stay above your enemies when possible, and rotate early, and don't take 50-50 fights unless you're desperate, and especially don't do this in zone. Confidence also matters, and I know it's hard when you first switch into keyboard and mouse, but if you hesitate, you're dead. Commit to your decisions. If you go for a wall replace, go all in. Don't second guess yourself mid-edit. That confidence comes from practice, but you can fake it all at first. Act like you belong in every single fight, even if your mechanics are dreadful. Push players and you'll probably get pieced up, but it will allow you to react better in different scenarios. I remember when I first switched to keyboard and mouse and I'd avoid every single fight, I'd bush camp, but I realised it's not going to make me a better player. Yes, I'd win the game, but it really did not help me improve, and I was probably going backwards. So trust me, confidence is not something you get before you play, it's something you build by actually fighting. So to wrap it up boys, focus on consistent settings and keybinds, practice your movement and aiming every single day, drills, edits, creative, and don't forget to actually play real games to build game sense and confidence. If you stick to this routine for just 2 weeks, you'll already notice a huge improvement, and if you keep grinding consistently, you'll go from a bot to looking like a pro way faster than you think. If you made it this far in the video, I'd really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe, and if this helped, let me know in the comments, because I reply to literally every single comment, and I may also give you some secret tips in the comment section to help you out. I'm going to have my Discord linked in the description as well. If you want to share your progress with me in this community, and you want to keep improvement, check out this video right here, as it's my second guide on how to improve on keyboard and mouse as well, and it will help you out a lot.